Now, over the years, the minivan market has gathered the rather uncool reputation of being the soccer mom vehicle. However, for those of you who have a lot of kids, you'll really learn to appreciate the high levels of versatility that these multi-purpose family vehicles really offer. This week I'm testing the all-new 2016 Kia Sedona equipped with these rather awesome second-row lounge-style seats. So, for those of you who are in the market for the latest minivan, why don't you kick back, relax, and see if this latest Sedona is worth a look if you're shopping for one of these vans. Typically when I talk about the latest vehicles I'm testing for the week, I'm sitting in the driver's side. However, when Kia dropped off this all-new Sedona SXL, I was quite fascinated with the second row. These second row lounge-style seats offer an incredible 11 inches of forward and back travel and 3.3 inches of lateral travel in case you want to get closer or farther away from the person that you're sitting next to. However, we'll talk about the interior at another point because the Sedona has been fully redesigned for the 2015 model year, and this all-new version represents the third generation of Kia's minivan nameplate. If you guys remember, the Sedona name was first introduced in the US back in 2002. It's also called the Kia Carnival in other parts of the world, where it has been around since 1998. Now, when the original Sedona first came out, it was slightly smaller than the segment-leading Chrysler Town & Country and Dodge Grand Caravan offerings, which Kia actually rectified when they introduced the second-generation model in the US back in 2006, where the company actually did introduce two different sizes, a short wheelbase and a long wheelbase. For those of you who don't even remember a short wheelbase offering, Kia actually pulled it from the US lineup just a year after it was shown due to slow sales. Now, Kia actually did cut production of the Sedona in 2012, where it was gone from the US lineup for 1 year before they brought it back in 2014 with slight refreshes to the front end and rear end design. Now, when Kia introduced the all-new third generation for 2015, the company marketed this new Sedona as more of a multi-purpose vehicle. They wanted you to think of it more as a crossover or a vehicle for empty nesters who wanted something that had some style, some space, and some luxury, but giving you that same minivan versatility that you had when your kids were still living in your household. Now, the Sedona definitely was the last vehicle in Kia's lineup to get the company's signature design language. You can see the front end sports the company's corporate tiger nose front grille. There's now several trims that you can choose the Sedona in. And if you guys remember, the original one was only offered in LX and EX trims. Now you can choose between L, LX, EX, SX, and SXL trim like my tester. The SXL trim typically gives you features like these 19-inch chrome wheels, more chrome accents around the exterior of the vehicle, as well as these projector-style fog lights instead of the traditional halogen bulb filament that you get on the lower trim models. Now, you can see the overall size of the Sedona is definitely in line with most of its competitors. The wheelbase is about 121 inches long. It stretches about 201 inches in overall length. So even though this is a minivan, it's not exactly mini on the outside. Those of you who are not used to driving big vehicles like this will definitely have to take some time to keep from scraping the vehicle along these tight parking spots. Now, thankfully, the higher trims of the Sedona will offer a surround view 360-degree camera system, which will definitely help you when parking it. And under the hood, you only have one engine choice, a 3.3-liter direct injection V6 paired with a 6-speed automatic. All Sedonas are front-wheel drive. Now, coming around the rear, SX models and up will give you LED taillights as opposed to the incandescent bulbs that the lower trims give you. And this is really where you can see a lot of more traditional crossover-like styling elements, where you have this boxy, somewhat taller-looking vehicle that has an impression of giving you more ground clearance, especially with these beefy tires. But overall, you're still not going to really mistake this vehicle for anything besides a van, especially with the dual power sliding doors that come standard on EX and up trims. But let's enough about the exterior. Let's take a look at the inside. This is really where a lot of you shoppers are more concerned with, and see how it stacks up against the exterior design of the vehicle. Now, EX and up trims will come standard with the company's smart key access system. Here's the key fob that the model will come with. You can see when you lock the doors, the power folding mirrors are actually standard on LX trims and up, so that's a nice feature to have. But to unlock the door, you come over here. You actually have to touch the button again. There's no sensor on the back part of the handle, but when you touch that, the door opens up. You can see, checking out the interior of the all-new Sedona SXL, the SXL trim comes with a premium Napa leather seat. This is basically the same high-quality leather that you're going to find in the company's flagship K900 sedan. It's a very soft, premium leather upholstery, and the rest of the cabin has this very upscale ambiance that's typically not expected in the minivan segment. Typically, you find very low-grade quality materials just because these vehicles tend to be abused, but Kia definitely goes with a different route. Now, stepping inside the van, you can see it has a very nice, easy step-in height with lots of headroom. So those of you who like vans, you're going to definitely like this. When you first get inside this vehicle, it's easy to get in and out of. Now, shutting the door, it has a pretty nice solid thunk to give you that impression of quality. And again, looking at this interior at a glance, the materials are very nice. The design is very easy to understand, and it's very well logically laid out. Now, like I said before, push button start is standard on EX and up trims. All you have to do is put your foot on the brake and then push the button here to start the engine. Now, the SX trims and up do give you a slightly unique instrument panel hood or gauges. You get a slightly more high definition center screen with these electroluminescent dials. It looks very nice nice looking instrument panel and dash layout. And you can see the materials in here are pretty top notch. This is much better in terms of that 2016 Sienna SE that I showed you guys last year. You can see the dashboard is all a soft touch material. It's even soft touch on most of the panels on the entire area of the dash. The door panels are also soft touch with more of that premium Napa leather stitching along the armrest. The windows are one touch for all four, definitely nice to have. This wood trim is also real, along with the aluminum that you see splashed around. That's part of the SXL trim level. You also get a wood grain steering wheel and a heated steering wheel when you guys go for the SXL, so this is really the trim to get if you guys are wanting the ultimate in terms of luxuries for a minivan. Now, looking at the rest of the center stack here, there's a lot of buttons, but Kia has them well laid out, very well labeled as well. Your radio controls, your nav controls are right in this level. Your climate controls are down here. Lots of knobs, which is what I like, for your climate control, for your audio, your tuning sources. The 8-inch UVO head unit is the centerpiece of the center stack design. You can see this is the home screen layout where you'll have your navigation function, your audio display here. You can change your different menu categories here if you guys want to put different apps here. You can interchange that. Now, I've shown you guys the system before in previous Kia models. It works pretty much the same. Definitely not as nice as the K900 with the 9.2-inch screen, but again, this is pretty easy to use. The nav is actually standard on SX trims and up, so if you guys want the navigation function, you have to go for an SX trim. It's not available on the lower trims. The map display, it works fine. It's definitely not going to blow you away in terms of its map graphics, but the voice commands work well. The touchscreen itself is very quick to use. It's one of the more responsive touchscreens in the business. You have your typical audio sources here, your satellite, AM, FM, XM. You have your Bluetooth streaming, USB. There is no Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on this car just yet. This was introduced last year before Kia started putting it on their vehicles. I would expect the company to start showing that later on. Now, when you put it in reverse, you can see here, there is your 360-degree surround view camera system. It comes standard on SXL trims. You can get it on the SX trim as part of a technology package. It does have trajectory in the rear. When you put it into drive, it does not have trajectory for the front, but you do have front and rear parking sensors to kind of show you what's near you, which is very important. This is a pretty large vehicle when you guys are trying to park it. Now, looking at the rest of the center stack here, your USB port is down there. This controls your one choice only 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual shift mode. The SX trims give you a drive mode selector, which you can cycle between comfort, eco, and normal. There is no sport mode, which is fine with me. This is a van. I'm not going to be driving it like a crazy person when I'm going around. The center console armrest here is adjustable. It is leather padded. It does open up and slides to reveal a pretty good storage down here with another fast USB charger down there. You have heated and cooled seats as part of the SX package. A heated steering wheel comes on the SXL. You have dual glove boxes, pretty nice to have. The glove box here is actually a cooled glove box unit. It's not really like the refrigerator unit you're going to find in like the Honda Odyssey, for example. It just kind of blows the air conditioning system into that glove box. Now, overall, the interior in here is certainly a nice place to spend time. The seats are very comfortable. You have very good visibility, very large side mirrors. The sunroof is standard on most models. The SXL will give you a dual sunroof function, which actually opens. This is one of the few vehicles in the class, actually one of the few vehicles ever I've seen that has a rear sunroof that actually opens. Typically, it's just a glass panel. Your controls up here are for your power sliding doors, your power tailgate. You can turn off the power sliding door function there if you need to. There's also a little convex mirror here for those of you who need to spy on the kids in case one of them is misbehaving. But overall, the features that you expect here in a van are definitely present. There's the latest in terms of driver assistance tech. There's blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, lane departure warning. You have smart cruise control. But let's take a look at the back seats and see how they fare over the very nicely appointed front seats. Now, checking out the second row, again, this is part of the SXL technology package where you get this very nice second row lounge style seats. They're basically the same seats you're going to find in first class of a Delta or Southwest or whatever kind of airline that you're used to flying. The seats themselves, the leather is very supple. You have an adjustable headrest, pillow style headrest there. And you can see the controls to adjust these seats. Some people have called them complicated. They are well labeled, but honestly, it's going to take you some time to remember what controls which, especially when you guys first start getting into this car. The seats themselves, they are not power adjustable, of course, but you can see all the level of adjustability they do offer. Now, stepping inside the second row, it offers a generous amount of legroom, to be honest. I mean, the legroom in here is just ridiculous. I've never been in a vehicle where I would rather sit back here versus actually drive the car. You can see coming all the way back, you can see I can basically just stretch my legs out completely. Now, I'm not very tall, but you do have this little functional ottoman right here that pops out, which is definitely very nice to have. And when you combine it with the recline function, you're basically just kind of falling asleep back here, and you're almost sitting in the third row, to be honest. This does make the third row rather useless if you guys want to actually use these lounge chairs, but for those of you, again, who don't have children, who just want to travel in comfort with 4 people, the Sedona SXL is definitely the vehicle to do that in. Now, the SX trims will give you the second row sunshades. You get it for the second and the third row, so that's definitely nice to have. I wish the sunshade kind of extended more to this area because I can literally see there's a hole right here. Just something to think about in making the sunshade slightly larger. You do have 2 map pockets right there, and the materials back here, surprisingly, this is soft touch, so that's another first. Most of the vans give you crap materials back here because the kids are going to destroy it. The SXL is certainly not the case. You have more of the wood trim back here, and then the automatic one touch for the window controls back here as well. Now, my tester has an optional rear seat entertainment system. No, it's not in the usual place that you'd find it right here. Instead, Kia gives you this Radio Shack-like 90s LCD display, which honestly, for $1,000, I'm pretty disappointed with it. It looks very aftermarket-ish. I would rather just spend the money and get my kids an iPad, to be honest. This screen itself just is entirely disappointing to look at. You do have nice wireless headphones, but overall, I'm pretty disappointed with the rear seat entertainment display. It's definitely behind the times in terms of the widescreen display that you'll find in the Odyssey or the Chrysler vans, to be honest. You do have a nice USB port there, another household power outlet there. Now, you're noticing there are 2 buttons here that should be there for heated second row seats. When you guys go for the lounge seats and the tech package, the 7-passenger model, you lose the second row heated seats. I think that's a stupid omission. If you guys want the second row heated seats, you have to lose these lounge chairs and go for the 8-passenger technology package instead, which I just think is really stupid. If you want these kind of seats, where's my heated seats? Where's my table? And where's my big screen LCD widescreen display here? I think Kia just really forgot about the details when they were designing these second row lounge seats, because there are just features that I would like to have, especially when you pay for this kind of money for the SXL trim level. Now, getting to the third row of this vehicle, which is probably not an area where you typically want to sit, when you actually have the second row seats adjusted to a fair amount of degree to give backseat passengers here some room, you can see the bench itself is pretty low for me. My knees are pretty high up in the air, but legroom is okay. There is very nice map pockets actually in these back seats to give more storage here. The materials are hard plastic back here, which is kind of expected. There is no like additional like hidden storage back here, but you do have cup holders and your own set of sunshades here in case you want to block out the paparazzi. And you can see here the rear seat climate control vents. There are individual ones for the backseat passengers, and you do have a nice view out of that sunroof, which does open again. Your rear seat climate controls are actually right there on the ceiling, but overall the third row is not a bad place to spend time. I actually wouldn't mind sitting back here on shorter trips. Now the Sedona does have the company's smart access tailgate system where you can basically just stand back here with the key and it'll open up for you after 3 seconds. But looking at the cargo area of the Sedona, this is an area where it really is a selling feature for most minivan buyers. I mean, even with the third row seat up, you're looking at about 33 cubic feet of space with a very deep well down here for those of you who plan to store a bunch of stuff. Now, if you guys want, you can fold down the second or the third row here, which is pretty easy to do. You pull that little lever there, you grab this lever here, and it releases the seat, and push it down until it clicks, and there you go. You're looking at about 78 cubic feet of space with the third row seats folded. Now the second row is really only where the Chrysler vans have really innovated here with their stow and go seating. The Sedona, what it offers instead is that sliding seat. This, if you guys go for these captain's chairs and the lounge package, these seats are not removable, but you can slide them forward, but you will reduce the overall cargo capacity. Now those of you who don't get this package can slide the seats entirely forward against the front seats, and it gives you about 142 cubic feet of space, which is about 10 cubic feet less versus competitors like the Honda Odyssey or the Toyota Sienna. But you're really getting all the versatility back here. There's even a nice regular household power outlet back here with a 12 volt and then a really nice integrated flashlight here as well if you guys want to or use this in case of emergency. So overall, I think the cargo area of the Sedona is definitely very nicely finished. The SXL trims will give you these nice aluminum kick plates for those of you who are taking stuff in and out of the cargo area constantly. First of all, I'd like to apologize about the rain. The weather in the springtime here in DC absolutely sucks, but the show must go on. So taking a look at under the hood of the 2016 Sedona, you're looking at one engine choice. This is the company's familiar 3.3 liter Lambda series gasoline direct injection V6. It produces 276 horsepower in this configuration and 248 pound-feet of torque. Now the Sedona will tow up to 3,500 pounds for those of you who are interested. It all goes out to the front wheels only. There's no all-wheel drive available in this vehicle through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now this vehicle does run on regular gas, and you're probably wondering what the fuel economy is. Now, Kia says this car will get about 1824 on the L to EX trims. If you guys go for a regular SX, you'll actually get one better 1825 due to an electric power steering system. Now this SXL is the heaviest of the models, and for some reason its fuel economy drops to a rather thirsty 1722. Now if you guys look at its competitors, the Honda Odyssey leads the class at 1928. The new Chrysler Pacifica also gets 1828, pretty close to the Odyssey. This is right in line with the Sienna, with the Quest, but the Sedona weighs about 4,600 pounds. So let's get out on the road and see how it all works, shall we? Now the previous generation Sedona definitely gave up in terms of refinement, luxury, technology to its main competitors. So I haven't had a chance to drive this all-new version yet. Let's take a look and see if Kia has managed to rectify a lot of the flaws of the previous model. Now first, setting off in the all-new Sedona, I'm definitely feeling that new levels of structural integrity that I'm feeling. Kia says this all-new platform is much stiffer. You definitely feel it. This van definitely feels big. You feel this van's size. The electric power steering assist on this SXL model does a pretty good job in trying to mask the size, but you do have to deal with just kind of learning where the front and rear corners of this vehicle are. It's a long vehicle. These minivans technically aren't very mini, but the throttle calibration is good. The van has pretty good off-the-line feel. The 3.3 liter V6 offers actually the second most powerful rating in the minivan class, but you're really not gonna be driving this thing for drag races. Honestly, you're just gonna be tooling around town. It's overall a nice van to drive. Now, I apologize with the crappy weather we've been experiencing here in DC. It's definitely making it difficult for me to test the acceleration of this car, as the front tires are struggling to put down grip. However, you are dealing with the second most powerful engine in the minivan class, a 3.3 liter V6 with 276 horsepower. That's roughly almost 30 more than the Honda Odyssey, and about 10 more than the Toyota Sienna that I showed you guys last year. Now, going down the road, the Sedona definitely has a pretty solid feel to it. On smoother pavement, the ride does stable out, and it's relatively quiet in here. You are going to deal with a little bit of that protruding engine noise, which does sound decent. When you get the Sedona going, this van will get to 60 in about 7.98 seconds. It's class average. The Sienna is about a half second quicker. And that little beep you heard is the car's lane departure warning system. Now, the safety features in the Sedona, when you get the tech package, are actually the passive safety systems. The lane departure system does not actively steer. The forward collision warning does not automatically hit the brakes. The only van in the segment that actually offers that is the new Chrysler Pacifica. If you guys look at the Odyssey, it's the same features. Now, the forward collision warning, again, will occasionally beep, annoyingly, like it just did right now, even though the car in front of me is nowhere near me. So it is pretty sensitive. You guys can adjust the sensitivity if you guys prefer to give you less of an annoying, intrusive warning. My tester also has the smart cruise control system. It works like the other Hyundai Kia products. The system itself shuts off at about 5 miles an hour, so it doesn't give you that full stop and go capability, but at least Kia does offer it. The Honda Odyssey does not offer the adaptive cruise control function that you're going to find on the other Honda vehicles. Now, despite having 19-inch wheels, the turning radius in here is pretty bad, but you need lots of space to make U-turns. But when you do get it going, like I said, the van has pretty good acceleration. The 6-speed automatic shifts fine. It does want to get into its top gear relatively quickly, so if you guys need to make a quick getaway, get used to flooring the throttle constantly to make that happen. Now, you're probably wondering how the van excels in terms of just driving on the highway. This is probably where a lot of you are going to love driving your minivan on long trips. The seats are pretty comfortable. You sit up nice and high. I mean, overall, as a road trip vehicle, as a family vehicle, the Sedona still excels in offering that typical minivan strengths. Now, coming to a couple of numbers here, the fuel economy is probably where you're wondering. Now, around town, I have not been getting very good gas mileage, I'll be honest there. I've been averaging about 13 miles per gallon around town, most of the times because I found myself in rush hour traffic, having to bury my foot to the floor to get it to go because the transmission likes to stay in its higher gears. Now, on the highway, I was able to beat the EPA's number of 22. I got about 24 miles per gallon. So Kia could improve the fuel economy here on the Sedona in the coming years, especially when you have vehicles like the Odyssey or the new Pacifica that get close to 30 miles to the gallon when you guys are in pure highway driving. Now, pricing is another area where minivan shoppers are probably concerned with. The Sedona is actually the least expensive minivan on the market to start. The base L starts at about $26,400, which is about $3,000 less than most of its competitors. A Honda Odyssey, a Sienna, a Pacifica starts at about $29,000. Now, most models, or most of you are probably going to end up choosing the EX model. That gives you features such as the tri-zone automatic climate control, dual power sliding doors, power liftgate, a premium audio system, leather heated seats. That's going to run you about $32,000, which is probably what most of you are going to end up spending for a van, which is an excellent value. Now, my tester, the SXL trim, is definitely a lot more expensive. They started around $40,000, but you will get the nav, you'll get the premium leather, the 19-inch wheels. My tester with the technology package was like another $22,000 that adds the second row lounge style seats, a couple of other niceties, a smart cruise control, the forward collision warning. Mine's around $44,000. Add another $1,000 for that rear seat entertainment system, which I would probably delete. Which actually is a lot of money for a van. It's sticker shock for most of you who haven't been shopping in this segment. However, if you guys look at the competitors like the Odyssey, the Sienna, the Pacifica, they approach $50,000 when you guys go for a fully loaded model, which is pretty ridiculous if you guys think about it. But a lot of these vans are offering the same levels of technology, luxury that you're finding in a lot of luxury vehicles. So for those of you who can keep the options list a little bit more in check, you can spend around the mid $30,000 range to high 30s for a nicely equipped versions. Anyways, if you guys are in the market for a minivan, I definitely would recommend the Sedona, as it does have its own unique levels of strengths. If you guys are looking for the most in terms of versatility, the Odyssey is still king. If you're looking for the most in terms of tech, the new Pacifica is definitely that vehicle. But if you guys are looking for one of the nicest cabins that offers a nice blend, the Sedona is definitely the van of choice for me. I prefer its interior over the Sienna that I tested, as the body structure is much more solid, the materials in here are much more upscale. But again, if you have kids that are probably going to destroy the backseat area, you're not going to really care about having a nice interior, and that's probably where the Sienna may be an appealing choice for you. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed my overview of this 2016 Kia Sedona SXL. If you're in the market for a minivan, I would definitely recommend checking one out. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, make sure you follow me on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, keep subscribed to the YouTube channel for all the latest Redline reviews. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you all in the next video.